Greetings once again, friends, live from Retro Central. My name is Peter, and thank you very much for checking out this video today. This video is all about the GxTV, which was produced by Samsung, first sold in the US in 1997, which is when I bought this model. This TV that you see here in front of you is the original that I bought in 1997, and after thousands of hours of use, after quite a few residential changes, I'm happy to say that this is still my main television set, my main CRT. I have all of my game systems hooked up to this thing, from my regular NES, my PlayStation, Super NES, the N64, GameCube, and the PS2. Those are all jimmy rigged here to this CRT, which has served me very well over the years. As you can see on the dry erase board, I did purchase this television for $300 back in 1997. The TV itself, this is the closed position, and this is one of the coolest things about the TV is that in the closed position, the speakers actually keep the screen from getting dusty. It's actually a really cool idea, and you'll see when I open it up, it's also a good thing too, because when the TV does open, it gets rather wide. What you can't see is that in the back of the television here, where I'm touching it, you can't see, there's also a subwoofer back here, but you'll be able to hear what it sounds like. And the sound on this TV is one of the reasons why I love keeping it around, because it sounds great. Let's go ahead and open it up. I'm going to do this carefully, because last time I did this, I inadvertently turned the TV off. There we go. So the speakers do open out, just like that. What I like to do when I open the TV is I like to focus the speakers so that there's a cone of sound that comes toward the center. Where I usually sit is where the iPad camera is now. So the speaker sound comes at me from both directions. Now, I will admit that the tube on this TV is very tired. Again, it's gone through thousands of hours of use, but it still works well. This is the original GxTV remote right here. It has multiple inputs in the back. Unfortunately, one of my inputs is damaged, so I only have one that works back there, but you have two inputs that you can switch between. There's also a button here called GX mode, and I'll go into what that does in a little bit. This also works as a regular television, so if you run coaxial cable, you can get channels on here. Instead of using a cable box, you can use your remote as your basic channel switcher, so that's kind of cool. One of the things that's come in handy with this television for me, this does have a sleep timer built in. So what I used to do when I used to watch movies at night, and it really wasn't a good thing for my PS2, is I would leave it running with a movie in there and the TV would turn off after an hour and a half or 2 hours. So let's go ahead and give this a whirl. I apologize in advance if this is going to be a little bit loud, but let's see what it sounds like. I have a game already in there. And again, this is just going to be good for a sound test. The bass response on these speakers is really something else. Now, I have the bass boosted all the way. Now I'll just let this play through just so you can hear it. So this is Ace Combat Zero Belkan War. And this goes back to 2006. If you ask me, and not a lot of people agree, this is my favorite of the Ace Combat games for a variety of reasons. I love the music in this. I love taking on other enemy squadrons head-to-head and shooting down aces. I love that aspect of it. Plus, it expands on some of the storyline from Ace Combat 5. And I'll probably do a review of this game sometime in the not-too-distant future. But what I want to demonstrate is I want to go through the attract mode for you.
Oh, him? Yeah, I know him. It's going to take a while. It happened years ago. Did you know there are 3 kinds of aces? Those who seek strength, those who live for pride, and those who can read the tide of battle. Those are the 3. And him?
He was a fighter pilot they called Solo Wing Pixie. This man was his buddy. He is the man I seek.
It was a cold and snowy day.
And what is peace?
Man, I still get goosebumps just watching that intro. Ugh. So that's the sound coming right from the GX. That's nothing I have done. The iPad is still probably a good 4 feet away from the TV. Let me show you some of the other things that the GX can do. Here are your video settings here. Customize is the way to go, only because the tube is a bit tired, so you can adjust your contrast, of course. When I shoot videos for consolation, I tend to keep the contrast low so that you don't get a lot of flicker. Brightness, sharpness, color, tint, all that stuff. Audio is pretty interesting in that there are several different settings for the audio. Custom is what I use now. As you can see, I have the bass turned all the way up.
Yeah.
Treble is also up there as well. I can probably drop that just a little bit. Balance, of course, in the middle between the left and the right. What's interesting is that there's built-in surround settings here. There's off. There's mono, which you can use if you have a mono game system, such as an NES. This gets the sound through both speakers instead of just one. I like that. Then there's concert, which sounds to be a bit deeper, and stadium. Then there's also MTS, and you can also choose to turn the woofer off. As you can see, it sounds a lot tinnier. On, where it's a lot more full. So that's the GxTV. Still runs amazingly well after all these years. Cannot believe I bought this thing for $300. Now, granted, $300 back in 1997 was a lot more money than $300 in 2015, but for cheaper than a PS4, I managed to get myself a TV that continues to run well to this day. If you happen to see a GxTV either at a flea market or a tag sale or online, they're definitely worth looking into if you can get them, but be very cautious for a couple of reasons. First of all, the external speakers on the wings here tend to be faulty from time to time, especially if they've been moved a lot. And without having both the left and the right side, you tend to lose something. Also make sure that the subwoofer works as well too. Again, the difference between the sub and no sub is amazing when you're talking about the sound. Having the remote helps, but is not necessary, as you can use buttons on front of the GxTV to be able to manipulate the menus. And it is a small screen, so this is perfect if you like to play games in closer quarters, if you have a smaller office, or perhaps if you're in a like a summer house or something and you want to have a separate gaming room. This is great for older consoles. Of course, I wouldn't recommend it for HD consoles. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. But if you're looking for a CRT to play older games on, this is definitely one of the best ways to go, and one of the reasons why I still play games on it today. So that's my look at the GxTV from Samsung, again, bought in 1997, $300, and in 2015 it's still working strong. As always, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and until the next time, take care.